Welcome to Bonnie's Beat. We're coming to you from the heart of downtown Wayne. We're in Radnor Studio 21. We're also broadcasting through Lower Murray and Narberth Television. Yay, I live in Lower Murray. Anyway, this is the 14th year that Bonnie's Beat is appearing. We like to bring you the movers and shakers in the community so you know what's going on and who's doing what to whom. And we have two lovely women with us today, both very accomplished. And we're going to be talking about the Einstein Healthcare Network, which is celebrating its 150th year. I don't think there are too many other institutions that can claim to have been around for 150 years. So we've got Joan Gubernick, who is the Chief Marketing Officer. Hi, Joan.
Hey, Bonnie.
Whom I've known for almost 150 years. And we've got Carol Prushan, that I've known not quite so long. But anyway, Carol is the Chief Development Officer. And these ladies are the engines that are making the 150th celebration for Einstein Healthcare Network run. Am I right?
Oh, you better believe it. So between Carol's department and my department, the Marketing and Development Department, with the support of a fabulous board and our CEO, Barry Friedman.
We must mention Barry Friedman. Yes, his picture's in the paper all the time.
All the time, because he's an amazing leader. And so Barry actually on our board wanted to really celebrate our 150th. Einstein was started in 1866. We had a very distinct mission. It was open to first let doctors who were Jewish have a place to practice because of the way the hospital systems were at that time.
Very prejudiced.
Very prejudiced. So,
and the med schools, forget about it. I don't even know how they went to med school because there were so many, even when I went to Penn, they had quotas for the number of Jews that they would allow in the law school and in the med school. That's in my day even, so.
So the fabulous thing is that it's not like that anymore.
Right.
And Einstein opens its doors and for Jewish doctors and everybody else to be able to practice the art of medicine. And most importantly, to take care of everyone. Freed slaves, unwed mothers, immigrants. So our mission, regardless of creed, nationality, regardless of ability to pay at that time, and that mission has been pervasive through our organization to this day. So we are very proud of ourselves for being able to, we've expanded, but we expand based on need, based on mission. You know, we built Pennsylvania's first new hospital 2 years ago, Einstein Medical Center Montgomery, because we took a look at the area in East Norton and realized that people were leaving the market because there was no high-level care being given. So we opened up Einstein Montgomery to provide cardiothoracic surgery, neurosurgery, and a booming baby business.
Booming baby. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So we're pretty proud. So when we decided to do the 150th, we wanted to celebrate with our current employees, almost 9,000 people. Our medical staff.
That's a hell of a payroll, 9,000 people.
9,000
my
people.
Goodness.
Our almost 500 medical staff members. We have 3 acute hospitals. We have 2 physician companies. And so we have alumni. So we wanted to bring everybody in and back to the fold, so we wanted to celebrate.
Carol, you have an interesting background in philanthropy. You were at several other places before you landed at Einstein Healthcare Network. Are you at liberty to mention some of the other places?
Sure. So I started my career at Bell Atlantic, so go way back before philanthropy, but since then, I was...
Dan Whalen, I loved him. Oh, he was one of my favorite people.
Yeah. So that was a long time ago. But in the more recent years, I started out in philanthropy doing fundraising at the Mann Center for the Performing Arts. And then from there, I went to the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia. And most recently, I'm here at Einstein, and I have loved it. It has felt like home. The one thing that stands out to me about Einstein is the family and community feel around the hospital. So there are multi-generations of board members that are a part of our institution. There are multi-generations of nurses and physicians where siblings are working at the hospital, and siblings or children and grandchildren. We have a 5th generation board member who is now on our board.
A 5th generation?
Yeah,
That's
so
incredible. What's the name of that board member?
it's the Klein family. It's Sam Klein, and it's the Klein family, and they have been around for a long time, and it's really a remarkable thing. And it really feels like home as you walk around the hospital and when you're with those physicians and with those clinicians. It's wonderful.
Joan, do you ever watch the series on television called Saving Hope? I think about Einstein when I see that series. It's fabulous. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's just the
I
best.
think I've been a fan of every medical drama from
Grey's
Marcus Welby
Anatomy.
through Grey's Anatomy,
Grey's Anatomy.
through St. Elsewhere, but I'll have to check out Saving Hope.
Check out Saving Hope. And Code Black, that's another one with Marcia Gay
that's brand
Harden.
new.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
excellent. I mean, they're really good. I like to see something with a plot. My mother likes to watch all these reality shows. And Judge Judy. That's you can't call her during Judge Judy. But then she turns to CNN and MSNBC because she likes politics. Just gave her 100th birthday party. So
that's
she's
fabulous.
sharp as a
Wonderful.
tack, and she loves to talk politics. But Judge Judy, and she used to love Donald Trump's Apprentice show. Excuse me.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
I have to have something with a plot to unwind at the end of a long day. What are some of the other I shouldn't say institutions, but you've got Einstein Medical Center, Montgomery, and East Norriton. You've got, what was the first one? Because the one in North Philly, was that there initially, or was it South Philly originally? I forget the history.
So then the network is made up of Einstein Medical Center, Philadelphia and Olney, Einstein Medical Center, Montgomery and East Norriton, and Einstein Medical Center, Elkins Park in Elkins Park. We have Moss Rehab, which is a nationally ranked rehab hospital, 2 physician companies, and a series of outpatient centers. So we're bringing what care is today. We're bringing care into the community.
Where are the outpatient centers?
They're in Holmesburg in the Northeast. They're in Bustleton in the Northeast. They're in King of Prussia. They're in East Norriton, in Plymouth Meeting, in Conshohocken. So we have about 10.
Really around the region. One of the things, though, to think about is where we came from, and you started to head there. In 1864 is when the planning all began. You asked where we started. So it started as the Jewish hospital, and in 1954 there was a merger with the Daroff Division, the Southern Division, and then the Jewish hospital. That became the Einstein Network. That's
Named for Albert Einstein.
Correct. All of the information and the whole history can be found on Einstein150.com. There's a site there that will take you through the history, different segments in different years, and it's a great opportunity to learn about the Jewish hospital and Einstein's origin.
You can Google Einstein, what is it? Einstein150.com.
So
Einstein150.com. Those of you who like to Google and like to play with your iPad, your iPhone, your computer, okay.
which is everybody these days.
Almost.
Almost
I'm not
everybody.
giving
You're
up
not
my
a-
BlackBerry.
Oh,
If they
you're one of the last.
If they still had Trios, I would still have my Trio, but they don't make them anymore. But
One
I
of the
love my
one of the
BlackBerry.
pieces on the website is the first patient registry. So of the first patients that came through the hospital.
really?
So we've gone through the archives, we've pulled up information. There's a lot of great stuff out there.
You have photographs of the pages?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And then it ties to, it shows you the first patients, it has some information on it. It's really a great site, and you'll really be excited when you go look at it.
Joan, tell us about this fabulous program, this one.
Born at Einstein. So there was a time when.
Let's see if we can get this on camera.
Let's see.
Julia, can we get this on camera?
This
is so cute.
All these adorable babies.
Okay. And the postcard says, were you born at Einstein? They want to know if you were born, or did you have kids at Einstein? Were your grandchildren born at Einstein? Were your grandparents born at Einstein? Anybody who's a family relative,
So,
how do they let you know?
well, they can go to Einstein150.com. or
Okay.
hashtag Born at Einstein.
Hashtag born at Einstein. Okay.
What's behind this program is that Einstein had demonstrated a commitment to OBGYN, women and children from the very beginning. And along the course of the 150 years, while other hospitals and systems were closing their OB units,
Oh, yes.
Einstein
Oh, yes.
has expanded. And we know that we birthed thousands of babies, and they are across the country or across the world. We also know that there was a point in Philadelphia where everybody was born at Einstein. And we're casting a wide net to bring people back, to start engaging a dialogue, to talk with one another. So we have people sending in their baby photos, their children, their grandparents.
Is there going to be a prize for the oldest living person that was born at Einstein?
Well, we'll think about that.
I would suggest that. That would be a great idea.
We could absolutely consider that. But there's a lot of people that are sharing their stories. You know, from the time I began working at Einstein, which is just 3.5 years ago, it's not that long. Whenever I would say to somebody, I work at Einstein, they get so excited. I was born at Einstein. And so we're building on that because people want to share that experience. And there's this affinity and this admiration and love for the hospital.
Now, Joan told me before we started taping that there's going to be a year-long series of events to celebrate the 150th anniversary, which is certainly a memorable anniversary. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So we're starting off on January 14th with our anniversary celebration, and it's going to be a great night. We've got a lot of great things happening, and
It's a shame you couldn't get anybody famous to appear at the National Constitution Center. You only ended up with Jason Alexander and Diana Ross. I feel so sorry for you.
and our communities and families are coming together to celebrate, and they're going to be a part of it. The National Constitution Center is an ideal place to be holding this event. It's the history of the institution that blends with the history of the U.S., and we're building those two things together.
Is Jeffrey Rosen, who's the CEO, is he going to be at your event? I hope so.
We hope so too.
I hope so. Maybe he'll bring some of his friends from the like Ruth Bader Ginsburg from the U.S. Supreme Court, because he's had her there a couple of times. I've been to hear her lecture. I think she also performed his marriage ceremony. Not too shabby
Not too
to have a
shabby.
U.S. Supreme Court justice marry you off.
Well, we're going to have over 1,000 people there. So in addition,
1,000?
we are.
Woo!
So it's going to be a great night. It's the community, our patients, our physicians, our donors are all going to be together to celebrate and acknowledge where we've come from and where we're headed.
Who's the chairman of the board of directors?
Larry Reichlin.
And his connection to Einstein, was he born there?
Larry has a deep family connection.
He does. So Larry's father was on the board and Larry's grandfather. So Larry's mother's father was also on the board. So when I talked about that multi-generation, there's a lot of connection.
That's terrific.
It's very unique to Einstein. So people, they come to the table. I've heard many of our board members say this is their favorite board to belong to because it is family, because it makes a difference, because of the mission. It's been
Let's
great.
talk about Moss Rehab, because that is a special, special place. If people don't know what Moss Rehab is, I'll tell you from my experience, knowing people who, my husband has post-polio, and they've got the experts of the world in post-polio at Moss Rehab. We've also seen demonstrations where Dr. Ashkenazi was tied with some Israeli inventors. What's it called? Not
Rewalk.
Rewalk, where people who have had severed spinal columns, they're able to walk again. Not forever, but they can walk, for a half a block or whatever, with this incredible computer equipment that they carry that's attached to braces on their legs. It's the most astonishing thing. It's like science fiction right in front of your eyes. And Moss Rehab worked with them and did the first demonstrations.
Right. So it's an Israeli company that Moss Rehab was the beta testing site. And Moss Rehab is a U.S. News and World Report top 10 ranked hospital. So Rewalk is an exoskeleton. And it enables, we have a patient who has been paralyzed, has been in a wheelchair, and went to a father-daughter dance with his daughter and was able to dance with his daughter. So
You can't even quantify what that experience is.
it's amazing. So Moss is actually the area's hub of technology in rehabilitation. So they're very, very advanced. They have the Moss Rehab Institute, so there's a lot of research going on. It is an amazing place. It really is.
And what happens in Elkins Park?
Elkins Park Hospital?
Yeah.
Elkins Park Hospital does a lot of same-day procedures. It also does a lot
You say same day. What I call it outpatient?
That could be outpatient. Our superb orthopedics department does a lot of work in Elkins Park, as does our bariatrics program, which is one of the top in the country. So they do a lot of those surgeries at Elkins Park. So,
how has, I hate to call it Obamacare because I believe in it, but the affordable health care, the bill that the Republicans are constantly voting to repeal, and they know the president will veto it the minute it hits its desk, but this is a presidential election year, so they're doing their thing, trying to say no to everything. But how has the Affordable Health Care Act impacted on Einstein and on medicine in general?
in medicine in general, if you've noticed, it's quite chaotic out there. And everybody is changing. The movement has gone from care in a hospital to in the home setting. Players have switched. Programs have changed. And for us, frankly, we have always taken care of our communities. It's just been our mission. So we are in our community. We have always taken care of our community. So the Affordable Care Act is something that we are already familiar with and working within.
When the president says that 16 million more people currently have health care insurance that they never could get before, does that also impact on your patient load?
Well, we were treating those patients before.
Okay.
So we have
You didn't wait for money to come from the feds.
Correct. We were treating those patients before, and we are still treating those patients.
People have no clue how expensive it is to run a hospital. You know, when they see a bill, the bill is like a 1/1000th of what the costs are actually are related to surgery and all the supplies and all the people and all the equipment that you need. So how does Einstein Healthcare Network afford to sustain itself with giving so much indigent care?
So something that's really important to us is philanthropic dollars, because it really makes a difference for the institution. We are about to conclude in June 30th a $150 million campaign of philanthropic.
That's a nice round number, 150 million.
So it is, and on January 14th you'll hear a little bit more about that. But we have done tremendously well. We're well over the threshold of $145 million. So we will achieve that by June 30th. You're going to hear some exciting things. But those dollars help with research and technology in the institution. They help with advanced patient care in the institution and continuing and supporting our community programs. So it's an important part of giving back of what the community has said and chosen to invest in Einstein.
Joan, who's the chairman of the board?
Larry Reichlin.
Oh, Reichlin, who's
Right.
multi-generations
Right, the
of
multi-generation
people.
Larry.
But was he also the one who was the chairman of the Capital Campaign?
So there's two people. So the chairman of the Capital Campaign are Betsy and Richard Scheer, and their leadership has been wonderful. And Wayne
And Betsy is a PR person.
Yes,
She is.
she is.
Terrific.
And Wayne Kimmel is the development chair.
And he's
from
young.
the board. Yep.
Wayne is young.
Yep.
Tall, dark, and handsome young.
Right. The other people that are involved with Einstein, there's a lot, and we didn't mention this earlier, but when we talked about January 14th, Jill and John Powell are co-chairs for the evening. Susan and Len Clare are co-chairs for the evening. Allison and Mark Feldman, and Nancy and Mark Schreier. So we've got a wonderful volunteer leadership that have been helping us with planning this event and planning our festivities for the year.
What are some other activities besides Were You Born at Einstein?
So since we're named after Einstein, we decided to have some other events called the Great Thinkers event. And we're having, the first one is on, I'm looking at my cheat sheet because I have to remember dates, March 10th at the Franklin Institute, and it's called Brainwaves. It's being hosted by
Dan Harris.
Dan Harris, who I'm such a big fan. I can't believe I just blanked on his name. Dan Harris wrote a book called 10% Happier. And
I see him. I forget whether he's CNN or ESNBC.
Well, she's gonna-
he's Good Morning America.
Yep.
Oh,
he's,
Good Morning
he's a
America,
reporter.
okay.
He's also an award-winning New York Times bestseller author. The book is called 10% Happier. It's about his journey, as he called it, to like calm his mind without losing his edge. And so when we were building this program about the brain, the aging brain, the teenage brain, we thought, what a better moderator than Dan Harris. So he's coming to tell his story. The other Great Thinkers event is going to be on September 8th. It's at the American Jewish History Museum, and it's called Conversations. It's modeled after the Chew, the Talk, and it will be outspoken female personalities, media personalities, and a roundtable discussion about issues that are very current to women and families. So we're building that right now, but that comes under the umbrella of Great Thinkers. Along the course of the year, we'll be celebrating Einstein's actual birthday. We have a variety of employee activities. We're getting into the community. We're going to have an art contest for families. We're bringing back all the babies born at Einstein.
What
So
button
year
are we
after
going
year.
to be wearing? Did you design a button yet?
We
I
certainly
like to,
did. We're going to give you an Einstein 150 button.
Okay. Because I like to collect
Not
buttons.
only that, we can actually clothe you from head to toe. we have 150 e-gear. We'll have a store from caps to fleeces to shirts. You name it, we're going to have it. And
what about sneakers?
we may consider sneakers. We will have biking wear, but also Maddie Ravinsky, who is on our board.
Maddie and Harvey. Yes.
From Bernie Robbins.
Bernie Robbins Jewelers.
So Maddie so generously contacted one of her favorite designers and has designed a custom piece of jewelry to represent our 150th that we will be auctioning off.
It'll be spectacular.
We got a glimpse of it. It is spectacular, and so we're pretty excited about that. So not only will we dress you, but we can accessorize you.
Accessorize. I love it.
My friends will like me saying that.
What happens at the end of the 150th? What are you going to do to culminate the celebration, the fundraising, all the activities?
So the celebration will end in the fall next year with our Harvest Ball and weekend. Usually it's a Saturday night. This year we're going to make it a weekend. We will be bringing back a lot of alumni, residents, and students who have been involved.
In
over the years.
2017 you're talking about?
No, at the November of 2016.
Oh, okay.
November 2016. And so we'll bring everybody together for a weekend event. We'll have the gala on Saturday night, and on Sunday we are planning to do a breakfast with all of the Born at Einstein babies and reunite everybody together. So it's really going to have been a fun-filled, festive year celebrating the hospital and the mission of the organization.
And embedded in all of this is we are the largest independent academic teaching hospital in the area. So we teach over 4,000 healthcare providers. We have over 30 residency programs. We have top-tier programs: liver, kidney transplant, breast health, OB, orthopedics. So we're bringing back alumni.
What about nursing? Do you
nurse-
train nurses also?
We do. So we bring in nurses from other schools. We used to have our own nursing school, which we don't any longer, but there are other nursing schools that come in and are trained through. Joan mentioned the 4,000 students, nursing students, techs, all of that.
It's because nursing seems to be where the action is these days. Am I right? I mean, as people are living longer, you know, when my father died in 1990 at the age of 77, that was considered old. In 2016, people in their 70s are starting another career.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. My mother just turned 100. You look at the, you know, the
God
notices
bless. That's exciting.
in the paper. Excuse me. Asthma weather. Not good asthma weather. But it's just amazing. But the people, the longevity that we're experiencing also brings along with it challenges for hospitals, for medical professionals. Am I right?
Yeah, the levels of support and the type of support you need from the caregiving from those fabulous nurses, because they're wonderful. But we also need nurse navigators to help people get through the system, deepening social work. You know, so there's new needs for the boomer generation that everybody's aging at the same time. And that's, again, bringing services into the home care, home health care.
Also, to fill out the paperwork. Oh, my goodness. Really, you need to be an engineer to fill out some of the paperwork. Am I right? And the doctors, I hear them complain all the time that they have to spend so much time at their computer inputting information about every single patient. On the one hand, it's great you have it all in one place, but on the other hand, it takes a lot of time and a lot of training.
A lot of time and training, but in the end, it's worth it, because for the patient, there's centralized electronic medical records. So wherever you go in our system, your records follow you. So your caregiver is informed. So in the beginning, it may be a tad painful. In the end, it's so well worth it for excellent patient care.
Well, having everything in the computer is supposed to, and it probably does, eliminate having two different doctors not knowing what the patient is taking, prescribe something that's dangerous or that conflicts with something else that they've had. So, if you had a magic wand, what would you like to see in the next 50 years?
In healthcare or in life in general?
In healthcare. We're talking about Einstein Healthcare Network.
It's really funny, sitting where I sit and watching. When I first started, I was at Einstein. I left TV news and joined Einstein a long time ago, left and came back. So when I was first there, I thought it was amazing. I watched a quad birth, the birth of 4 babies. Now that's commonplace. I watched
Quadruplets is commonplace?
Much more than it was.
Much more than it was. It's not a medical achievement. I saw the first frozen embryo go to a birth, and that happened at Einstein. So what do I see? I see things changing. I see that in our breast health program, we have the technology to see 3-dimension. So I think we're on the way. We're on the way to better diagnostics. We're on the way to better cure. Isn't that what we wish everybody? We wish everybody good health.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you say we're moving into a mode of prevention? And so that's what I would see happening.
Carol, if you could wave a wand.
So mine would be about philanthropy, for sure. There are so many people that have so much need in our community, and there is so much affluence and wealth, that I just wish people would find what's right for them. It might be Einstein, it might be something else, and be philanthropic, be charitable, because it really makes a difference in people's lives.
We have people like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and the late Walter and Leonore Annenberg. They set the bar very high. They said, we're going to give it all away. I mean, how much can you hold on to and collect, and you can't bury it with you. Right. Although I know one philanthropist, he wasn't a philanthropist, he was a very rich guy, and I'm sure he took it with him. But we won't mention him right now. Mm-hmm. Anyway, our guests today have been Joan Gubernick, who is the Chief Marketing Officer of the Einstein Healthcare Network, and Carol Prushan. Do you want me to mention your middle name? Carol Parlin Prushan, who is the Vice President and Chief Development Officer for the Einstein Healthcare Network, and 150 more years. That's what we wish for you.
Should be the share.
And we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bonnie.